There we go. Welcome back, everyone. This is Edge to Otaku. I'm in Legend 5000. This is your place for not only anime and manga content, but One Piece content. And today we have the TCB scans for chapter 1184 of One Piece, aka Brook'S. I'm calling this Soul King's Debt. This one, this explains why Brook talks the way he does, why he acts the way he does, and why he thinks the way he does. Again, this chapter, the Soul King's Debt, because he's had a whole bunch of them. The bones. The man with the bones. Okay, so we are going to dive right into the TCB scans. I'm going to pull these up, and remember the TCB scans are not like the live read, so that means you guys do not get to see the actual panels. You'll see those on Sunday when I cover the show, and the show will be later because I listen to Dawn and Dust channel and native Japanese translator to get contextual meaning that is lost from any other translator that is not a native Japanese born citizen. You can be mad at the messenger. That's the way it fucking is. And right now there's not a love-hate with the One Piece anime community. I love it because JD Law is fucking trolling the shit out of people. I see Sai, Brago, Tekken, O'Hara, who else? Grand Line Review. I see all these. I don't know if that's a type of jellyfish, but it just says jellyfish here. So that's what we fucking have. And this title says only bones get left behind. We'll see if this is the official title once it drops later this week. Let's go. Come on now. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Boom. Okay, I was like, please go ahead. We start. It was freezing. We start at the very beginning. We have a 14-year-old, and it says in the text box, Princess of Esperia, Shuri, 14 years old, holding out her sword. And it says, when the Princess of Esperia turned 14, 5 princes came seeking her hand in marriage, drawn by rumors of her extraordinary beauty. And it was, whoa! And we see one of them falling down, and he looks like a celestial dragon type king. He's got the fluffy pants. He looks like the Burger King nigga. Got the fluffy pants and the crown on. He's got ruffled. Oh, sure, no. I yield. And then we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other princes with knots on their fucking eyes right above them. And they're like, she goes, you're all too weak. And they're like, forgive us, as they yell at Shuri. And then we have Shuri yelling, I have no interest in weak men. And don't even think about approaching me if you can't play music. Music? Really, they say? And we also get Brook's younger years in this chapter. Then we see Commodore of the Esperia's Guard Corps, Brook, age 27, walking hand in hand with Princess Shuri. And Brook says, I heard you thrashed all those studious princes, Shuri. And she goes, yep, you look strong, or you like strong women, right, Brook? Don't you think I've grown sexier? And she says, not to mention cuter. And he goes, you certainly have. And then she goes, and I bet someday my boobs will be big enough to pop right out too. He looks like he's like, don't say that. It's unladylike. And she goes, seriously, you sound like my dad. And then Brook run over on bent knee, left knee, talking to 2 ladies. He goes, my word, you're gorgeous. May I see your panties? And Shuri hauls the sword at the back of Brook's head, hitting him in the afro, and it flings and flips off. And she goes, you will give that a rest already. So it seems like he does this all the time, even from last time when he was holding her hand at age 7 and he was 20. Now we see him singing as they're sitting, I was going to say in front of a fountain, but in front of a garden, Esperia's garden. Prom. From frogs to castle, from kings to chattel, of the dead you'll FWD, only bones get left behind. From frogs to cattle, from kings to chattel, almost said Gunko. Shuri starts to sing, and she continues, bones alone, as everyone knows, That's just the way the story goes. Oh yeah. And then Brooke goes, yo ho 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 ho, as he sings, and she goes, yeah ha 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 ha, right next to him. She's like, I love your songs, Brooke. And Brooke says, Your Majesty told me the same thing. And then Shuri goes, and you really admire my dad, don't you, Brooke? My mom too. And then Brooke says, I guess he was my benefactor. If I hadn't crossed paths with your father, by now only my bones would be left behind, as he smiles and laughs at her. Then we go back. Brooke, age 11 years old. And then everybody's like, why is Brooke behind bars? What's going on with Brooke? Brooke is not behind bars. He is looking into a school through the gate. What is up, my boy? See, I don't have the deal up, but what is up, Nom? Thank you for joining. It says, bro, and he was 20. Yeah, okay. Yes. Now, and it's a weird thing too. We're gonna stop for a second on Brooke being 20 and she's 7, and then 14 and 27. I see a lot of this on Instagram. It's like women like, everybody thinks 20-year age gap is weird, but I bring the chaos, he brings the calm, and in this, it seems like Brooke knows he's not a part of this family. He's had a crush on the queen forever. We see he has a crush on the queen. And then with Shuri, I don't know what kind of relationship that is, because I would have thought him being taken in and then being there helping raise her, it would be brotherly shit, right? But she's been like, you can marry me one day, Brooke. You can be blah, 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 Brooke. And that's because she knows he's not her family, but he also knows she's a little girl. I'm not going to say shit about it yet. We're going to see how this plays out. Right now, he is fucking with other bitches in Asperia. You know, he's leaving, he's shaking, he's holding her hand and walking, but he's leaving her alone. So right now, Brooke has escaped some allegations. He didn't talk about marrying her. Shuri was doing that kid type shit, but he didn't stop her. So Brooke is standing outside the gate, he laughing, and then the kids are playing violins with the music teacher, turning sheets of music. And then Brooke says, must be nice, a school with real instruments. We see another kid playing the piano with music coming off of it. He says, they sound so good. And then we hear, hey! He goes, yikes. He said, that filthy street rat is peeping around again. He's like, whoa, I'm sorry. And he's like, shoo, scram. You're making our students nervous. The stench. And he says, he's a stain on our country, they say. And then we go to the junkyard where Brooke is dancing and playing his violin. And Brooke is like, the king's bad. Yeah, it's the king's bad. One day I'll play real music, the best you ever had. My mommy, my daddy, my little brother too, with empty bellies rumbling. They had no food to chew. I don't know why I'm even alive, just crunching on wart frogs to survive. The king's bad. Yeah, it's the king's bad. I want to stop on this panel because Brooke is just singing. He doesn't know any musical songs. Maybe he's heard from the school and he remembers the words, but I think this is Brooke's backstory. Mom, dad, and little brother all died of starvation. He's the only one that lived, and he's eating like frogs to survive. And he blames it all on the king, which is not Reuven. It's Reuven's father. And then we see Reuven come in, and everybody's like, oh my God, he's related to Davy D. Teach. No, he's not related to Blackbeard. He is based off of Ludwig Beethoven. That's why the whole island is about music. And we see a violin, we see piano several times. This is the world that is built around this king, and you'll see more of it. But he walks in, and he goes, those are some rotten lyrics. Did you write them yourself? Is that? And he goes, yep, it's my violin. That's supposed to be a violin, Reuven says. He says, I made it out of glass bottles and some wire. It sounds good, right? It does have a freeing vibe to it, I guess, Reuven says. And then Brooke says, hey, I've seen you around here before. Are you a fan of mine, mister? And then he laughs. You could say that, but don't call me mister. I'm only 21 years old, looking like an old motherfucker. When we get to Sunday, you're going to be like, damn, he looks like he's at least 30. I'm not going to say he's like 40, at least 30. With it, the booty chin ages motherfuckers up. And then we see him and Brooke dancing and singing, and Brooke says, say what? You've got an old face. Yo, ho, 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 ho. You look like you've had it rough than most. And then Reuven says, that's an odd laugh you've got there. And then Brooke goes, yo, ho, ho, well, I suppose I'll just call you big bro. And then we see a pot with the frog in it and some other shit and steam coming off. And Brooke continues, as a token of our friendship, I'll treat you, big bro. I caught some grasshoppers and frogs today. Delicioso. He said, the secret ingredient is curry powder. I steal some from the naval ships that occasionally come here. And then Reuven looks at it as Brook continues. It makes anything taste like curry, though I guess that's not much of a secret now, huh? Yo! Reuven staring viciously at this shit, like, ugh, and remembering meals he's had at the palace, like plates that are nicely fucking garnished and done up, been wiped out, presentable. Gordon Ramsay would be like, mwah, motherfucker, you're good. And he's just thinking, he's like, everything that came to him. Today's soup of the day features a fresh catch from the Yarrow Peninsula. It's a yeah. Abilene simmered in red wine. Some of these words, hang on, I gotta zoom in. Here we go. Oh, I can't zoom in past the point I'm at, so no, I can't. Followed by prime A6 grade ruby beef. Your Highness, this is the young lady of the Suffren conglomerate. She graduated as valedictorian of the Inouye Academy. And I wonder if that's Candale before she became a convoy leader. But she's cute. She got hair. She got a little tiara on. And then we go back to Brook and Reuven. And Brook goes, you all right, big bro? Are you sure you're tearing up? I said, are you so happy you're tearing up? And he goes, yeah, Reuven says. And he goes, I can't believe I'm still in hysteria looking at Brook's food. And then he goes, I'm just, and then Reuven comes in, I'm just a tad tired. I'm still happy to have this, though. And he shoves the frog in his mouth, frog leg sticking out. And then he tries to gulp it down, cheeks swollen, electricity coming out of everywhere because it's so fucking bad. And Brook goes, yo, is it so good that you're convulsing? I'm right, aren't I? That's great. Alrighty, time to get back to singing. Later, big bro. Reuven is still in shock, and Brook turns around, waves at him, and says, wait, I told you it's my treat. Don't fork over your cash. We're both going through hard times. And then Reuven pulls out alcohol for a kid. He didn't even know that Brook is 11 years old, but he has a flask and a bottle. The flask has a skull and crossbone on it. The bottle, I don't know, the bottle is vicious too, but he's smiling as he does it. Then we see Reuven anger with the storm cloud in front of his face, trying to fish, not catching anything, and Brook back there with the bottle of alcohol dancing. Then we see Reuven has caught a squid that kind of looks like oh boy, that was designed the t-shirts, Pomp Up, what's his name, Pomp something, down in Fishman Island. And then we see him smoking a cigar and Brook just playing on this guitar he's made with a bottle or a can on the bottom and some string and nail. And then we move to the port. One day, Cello Port, Kingdom of Asperia. A marine escort ship, someone says. Load the instruments onto the cargo ship, they say. Handle them with care. And then we see drop as blood hits the floor. And then Brook is shaking. I don't know anything. This is a mistake. As he's coughing. Eyes swole up. Other one almost completely closed too. Blood everywhere, missing teeth. And the Marine with a scar all the way down his eye to his cheek says, cut the crap. You suck at lying. We know you're the courier. Those gangsters told you to drop off the powder, didn't they? Where'd you hide it? And then we see from afar as Brook sits in the center of, 7, 8, 9, 10 Marines. One says, we paid an informant good money and they said you had the stuff. So are you ready to tell the truth now? We ain't talking about normal curry powder here. And then Brook starts singing, from frogs to cattle, from kings to chattel. Of the dead you'll find only bones get left behind. And they're like, quit singing. Then it zooms in and Brook's singing, it might only be for a split second, but as long as I keep on singing, dying doesn't seem so it'll be over soon. Goodbye, stray doggy. Goodbye, big bro. And the Marine looks at him and says, well, the punk's seen our faces now. Let's kill him and get after the gangsters. And then Brook yells out, of the dead you'll find only bones left behind. And then we hear Brook being yelled as the doors break and bust open. And the Marines turn around, huh? And it is Reuven. And Brook screams, big bro. And they're like, it's Prince Reuven, as they turn around. And we see Brook, what? Prince, as he's trying to struggle for consciousness, and Leuven runs through them and hugs him in the chair, almost knocking it over, saying, I'm really grateful to see you, Brook. I don't know what I'd do if you die. Please stand back, Your Highness. Leave the rest to the guard corps, they say, who have come in behind Leuven. But Leuven takes out one sword and he says, shut up, I'll handle this with my own hands. These damn bastards put my good friend through hell. Look at the state of him. I'll give them a taste of their own medicine. And then, hey, wait, it's Asteria's guard corps? And then we hear over the comms, Prince Leuven, we've apprehended the dealers from the Morone family. We've also confiscated the illegal drugs and arrested their courier. Their courier, says the Marine. And Brook says, so this kid, oh no, then the Marine's shaking. So this kid really had nothing but curry powder? And then we see the corpse saying, Your Highness, please restrain your personal anger. The Navy has the backing of the world government behind it. And this is where the real nigga comes out. Because Prince Leuven says, if the government is going to shield scum like this, then our world is doomed. Isn't that right, Candel? And Candel is smiling like, I am nothing more than your devoted steel blade. I'll always fight by your side. And the Marine's like, we're Marines, you know? And he's like, shut up. And they come in. Leuven is dual sword wielding, one behind his head, one straight out. And then we see that famous notch, slash, dash, charge that Brook does with a rapier done by Candel. And Leuven is screaming, you're just garbage. And Brook is in awe. The only thing that he's loved in this world is music and instruments. And he goes, he's a swordsman? That's so cool. Then we hear the town. Did you hear? They're saying that Lady Candel saved our country again. Then Asperia Palace. You up already, Brook? And Brook is waking up, bandage wrapped around his big ass swollen eye and head, band-aid underneath his eye, pad right here with the X on. He's flutter awake. And then it's the commander of the Asperia Guards Corps, Candel, standing there pouring tea and just watching over him, or actually pouring tea at the window while Leuven is at his bedside. Candel says, Prince Leuven, I simply ask in future you keep in mind the weight of your royal standing. I got it. Hey, Brook. He doesn't give a fuck. He's worried about Brook. And Brook goes, so you were a prince this whole time, huh, big bro? And he goes, yeah, about that. I'm really sorry. It's not like I meant to deceive you. I just really enjoy spending time with you. He says, more importantly, you better not tell anyone that you swiped that curry powder. Every time Prince Leuven goes missing, it scares us half to death, says Candel. And then Brook is just still in shock and awe by what has happened. Then we make our way to our last page of this chapter, which is a short chapter. It's only 13 pages. And she rubs his nose and says, I never would have guessed that you were spending your free time with such a cute little friend. Tap. And then Brook falls back, blood gushing from both nostrils and 5 hearts fluttering in the air. Then we see the outside of the castle. It's, oh, sorry, I didn't realize your wounds were still so deep, Candel says. Oh, it's all good. Don't worry about it, Brook says. And then we hear, anyone, tell everyone, this kid is my favorite musician. Get him a room in the barracks and give him a proper musical instrument, Leuven says, and arrange for him to attend school. He's throwing his hands up in the back, and Brook has turned around facing the other way, pretending to be asleep. And Leuven continues, a new star is about to be born in Asperia. And Brook is just sitting there. He's like, whoa. And then he hears Leuven say, I love this kid. And from now on, this palace is going to be a lot more fun. The act of generosity would never be forgotten, says the narrator. And this ends the chapter. So we got a backstory inside of a backstory. The first half is finishing up where we left. We saw Shuri at 7. Now we see her at 14. So time has passed. She has learned the sword, and now Brook has taken over, and Candel has moved to be queen. But Shuri, who loves music and loves that Brook loves strong women, and he's trying to be one, she is now finding out why. She said the same thing her father did, and Brook's just telling her this backstory. And we see the life that Brook had. He hated because he couldn't play instrument, but he still found ways to play instruments. I love the fact he has his broken shades on top of his head to pull down at any fucking time. But we see instruments, and I feel like with Brook and this energy, even if his family did die and he was the only one left, this is a theory. We have Maki from Emu, we have Haki from everyone else, and Brook has the soul. Luffy's Haki liberates the soul whenever his heartbeat starts boom, ba-doom, and the music, the rhythm starts going. Emu, his dominion comes over people when he comes. The trees, houses turn to terror, and then everybody's personality changed 180 degrees, their deepest, darkest impulses. Then we have Brook, who his soul can leave his body and go to the underworld, come back. I feel like that's attached to something because Brook has so much information. And if his devil fruit is just that he can come back alive, that knowledge itself is worth all the gold that Nami has ever tried to collect. But I feel like there's just more. Like learning the Brook learn how to play instruments here on this musical island. He was with the king and a queen, and a princess supposed to marry him. This is going to lead to Ragnar releasing Gunko from the ice. She turning back to Shuri. Brook talking to her. Maybe him using his soul power to transform her back, or Chopper, because Chopper's been bitch slapping the fuck out of Domi Reversey niggas and transforming him back like that. But there is also the theory that Chopper is the forest god. So we will see what happens. But this story was really where Brook was inspired to pick up the sword, how he learned and got to play musical instruments. And I'm guessing at the age of 27, he's not the best he can be. Excuse me. But he has incorporated. We see Brook use his sword on his violin. He plays several instruments. We're about to see the glow up of Brook that we've seen for all the Straw Hat Pirates. So for people thinking, oh, Straw Hats aren't going to get backstories, they're getting backstories, and they're fucking important. So that being said, these are the TCB scans for this week. Let me know what your thoughts are. How long has the camera been blurring out of focus? God damn it. I love this. This is today's show. I am drastically tired after work last night and excited about this. Had to read, and then this fucking camera does this shit to me. What the hell? But thank you guys for joining in. This is chapter 1184, Soul King's Debt, the story and the backstory of Brook. Now we're going to get some more with Shuri, because we have to find out why she's the father killer and why Brook hated her and why she went to marry Joa. Was this before or after Kendall died, or went? Did she kill both of her parents? It seems like she only killed her dad, so maybe Kendall is a holy knight like some people think. Maybe she did give birth to Mihawk. We don't know, but I want to see in the next chapter. So put your comments, your theories, and opinions below, and I will check those out as we move into next week. There is a break, but again, we will be back so soon to get down to business and back to the current state of Elbaf. Remember, right in the corner, right down here, you can go to immieats.com and get the world's first plant-based, high-protein, high-fiber, low-carb, low-sodium ramen that's out there. 6 different flavors: tom yum shrimp, creamy chicken, black garlic chicken, spicy red miso, spicy beef, and then roasted pork tonkatsu. Use promo code EDGE2G to get $5 off your online purchase. Look on their store locator to see what stores near you they're located at, and you can pick it up yourself, but no promo code. And then switcheries.com. If you have a Nintendo Switch, a whatever version, 1, 2, OLED, Lite, you can go here. Use promo code EDGE10 to get 10% off your total purchase as you buy thumb grips, accessories, cases, anything that you want to protect your Wii and jazz it up just a bit. I'm Elijah 5000. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I've got to get some sleep. Let me know what you think about Brook. Let me know what you think about this chapter. Some people don't like the flashbacks. Some people hate the flashbacks inside the flashbacks. But I'm going to let you know one thing. Flashbacks are fucking important to the story. If you took these bitches out and you just played, this is what y'all think. Y'all think One Piece and all this other shit is going to make One Piece shorter. Nobody gives a fuck about a shorter story that's not as good. Read the fucking manga. If you want to know how good One Piece is, read the fucking manga. Or come here every week. Just come here every week. I'll read the bitch to you. Catch up. Go through my YouTube channels, Edge to Otaku, Edge to Gaming. Look where we started, where you can find, because most of you know that we lost the channel. So I think I started at 1123 or 11 something. Lost all that. But find out where we started and catch up to that motherfucking point. You want to know what this story is about. That's the only way to do it. Watching the anime is not going to help you do that, because they cut and they make changes. Hopefully this new schedule does. But as a motherfucker that's been watching anime for 30 years, read the fucking books. You can get to where you need to go. I hold no and harbor no hate. You can do what you want. I do both. Even when I watch anime, I watch them in sub and dub, because if you watch with the subtitles on, you already know they're saying shit that's not right, and sometimes it sounds dumb as fuck. Source material. You go back to the source material, and I found this out too. Introduce somebody to One Piece, like, yeah, and this is da da da. And we were at the part where Luffy took out Kuro, Captain Kuro, and he goes, "I want meat," and they're like, and this is the first time I've heard it from a One Piece fan in a long time, because they watched it and immediately got hooked. That started with the anime and nothing else. Does he say that in the manga? And I was like, what? Say that again? Does he say that in the manga? I was like, wait a second. Let me pull it up right now. You know what? If you want to read manga, don't worry. I don't want to overwhelm you. But if you want to read manga, Shonen Jump went in. Luffy didn't even say that shit to Nami at the end of the Captain Kuro fight. He said, "I want steak." I believe native Japanese speakers when they tell me you're not getting the right representation of One Piece and Luffy with the dubbing, because there's things that aren't translated and they have liberties to take freedoms with. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. But if you listen to things that Luffy says, if you read them, Luffy's not the goofy nigga y'all think he is from the show. Yes, he's goofy, he's impulsive, but there's a lot of contextual seriousness. Him knowing what's going on and not just being a Luffy being like, well, I don't know. Oda does say Luffy doesn't think, but he processes, because the way that he speaks is of someone that processes what they mean and says what they mean. And Luffy always says what the fuck he means. So try reading. It's fundamental. It helps. But if not, just come back here every week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. We'll be back Sunday with the official Shonen Jump read of chapter 1184, One Piece, and we'll get the actual correct title, and we'll see what was actually said, what's been changed, and you guys will see the panels. Thank you. I'm Elijah 5000. If you like what I do here, subscribe, click, rate, all that good shit, and yeah, share with your friends. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.